What's up, my name is Devin, I also go by Infinite or Prod by Infinite, and today I'm gonna show you how to make emotional beats for Peysoh. Oh, and real quick, the stems for this beat is gonna be available on my Patreon. If you don't know what my Patreon is, it's where I just give out weekly lubes, you feel me? Discounts off my drum kits, my lube kits, MIDI kits, sound kits, whatever you want. Man, you get the YouTube videos early and everything, bruh. Alright, so let's get into the tutorial. The beat that we're going to be breaking down today is going to be based off of the 6-block song that Peysoh has. So it's going to be real emotional, real West Coast, and it's going to hit really hard as well. Alright, so let's pull up the piano real quick. So I used the Noir felt piano. Obviously you don't need this piano specifically. Any other piano can do just as well. Addictive Keys, Keyscape, the Grandeur one that's in Contact, or even FL Keys if you know how to sauce it up right. So what I do to make these chords is I go into the first note that's in the scale. In this case, we're in D sharp minor. So first note goes on D sharp, and then I make a triad from there. And basically the way that you make a triad is that you just skip every other note in the scale and you put 3 of those notes together for a chord. So for instance, this is going to be the triad for the D sharp minor. Put one on D sharp. We skip this one right here. We go up one, skip this one right here, and we go up one again. So this right here is a triad. So what we do from there is we just take this root note, copy it down an octave, and then we copy it up an octave as well. Basically what this does is that it gives us the same feeling of the triad, but it beefs it up a little bit and it makes it more full because we have more notes within the chord, but you still get that original feeling of the triad. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So you can still hear the triad perfectly fine, but it just beefs it up more with the D sharp on top and then the bottom. Then I just took that chord, copied it over, and pitched it down 500 cents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, that's the next chord. You know what I mean? And I basically just kept on doing that, and I just added like little notes at the end of the chords just so it transitions into the next chord well. Then I just took those chords and I copied them over into Analog Lab with the Baby Angelic preset. It's one of my favorite pads, and I thought it would just be perfect for one of these emotional beats. So this is what the piano and the pad would sound like together. And one thing I noticed in the Peysoh 6-block beat is that it had like a vocal runs all over it. So I kind of did my own interpretation of it as well onto this. So I went into vocal runs 2, got the Vox highlight minor preset, and I just laid down these notes right here. Whenever I'm laying down like the vocal run notes and everything like that, I always find it easiest to just stick with the note that you're in for the scale. So we're in D sharp minor. So all the notes that I chose for the vocal runs are D sharp. You know what I mean? You can obviously use other notes like F because it's within the scale of D sharp minor. But I just always find it easier and more reliable just to choose the note that is the scale that you're in. So I just chose D sharp, put out these ones right here, and then this is what it sounds like by itself. And then that's all I did for the melody. Since the 6-block melody was really simple, I wanted to keep this one very simple as well. So it's really just the pad, the piano, and the vocal runs. And then I just try to layer on some hard drums. You feel me? Next thing up is the Schmop Snap that is in the Exclusive Drums Volume 2. Ain't doing nothing special, just a little regular kind of thing. Then got this hi-hat right here, and this is actually from... Yeah, y'all ain't even ready for it. Y'all ain't even ready for it, bro. So for this tutorial, I did use a Noir hi-hat MIDI. You know what I mean? From that Slap City Volume 3 hi-hat MIDI kit. Unreleased, real exclusive, you feel me? And then I just copied it over until the second half because I made all the bars, 8 bars for the pattern. And then this is what the hi-hat sounds like by itself. Now I just layered the kick down. This is what it sounds like by itself. You You know what I mean? None too crazy. I didn't do anything to the effects. I literally just turned the velocity all the way up, and that's it. Lay down a little open hat. Then I lay down a little triangle for an accent on the claps. Little zap right here just to add a little extra bounce. DJ scratches at the end. You know what I mean? DJ scratches are always a great way to end off a bar. You know what I mean? It always sounds pretty cool. Got the cymbal going off. And then this part, the tom, I thought the tom was like really cool. You know what I mean? Toms are always a really cool way to end off the bars as well. So for this case, I actually did the scratches to end off on the first half, and then I did the toms to end off on the second half, just to add a little bit more variety. And with the toms, you have to remember is that they're a tonal instrument. So you have to make sure that it's in key of the scale that you're working in. So we are in D sharp minor, so I had to make sure that all the notes that I chose for the tom at the end are inside the D sharp minor scale. Threw in a little stomp. Triangle riser, super West Coast, pretty typical stuff. And then I threw in the 808, and the 808 is actually just following the root notes or notes that are within the chord that we laid down. So remember, we laid down a triad. A triad is just boom, boom, boom. So these are the chords that we're working with, you know what I mean? And then even when we go down like this, those are the notes that we're working with as well. And here's what the 808 sounds like by itself. Now with the 808, I didn't really have any special tricks that I was doing with it. I was just trying to make sure I had a calm response type of feel to the 808s and that I wasn't trying to do too much with them. So as you can see, if I shorten them, there's a good like break or like a good pause and space in between like every major 808 pattern. You know what I mean? There's always a good space in between them. And doing stuff like that leaves a lot of room for the artist and room for the other drums that you have. Then I just added a couple risers just to kind of keep everything interesting. You know what I mean? Then last but not least, you know, I had to throw the tag in there. Come on, man.
Hey, go ahead, Infinite.
Wouldn't be an Infinite beat without the tag in it, man. And then for the arrangement, I just kept everything pretty simple. So I just had the piano and the pad go off for the first 4 bars, and then the next 4 bars, I started introducing some of the drums, but I made sure not to add like the main elements. So yeah, we have the snap here, but I made sure not to add like the hi-hat, the kick, and like the 808 and everything like that, because those are like the sounds that are really going to make your drops hit really hard. You know what I mean? The snap is just there to really keep rhythm for the artist. You feel me? And then for the hook, I introduced all the sounds, all the drums, all the melodies, the vocal runs, everything like that. Then when it goes into the verse, I cut out all the drums and I just leave the piano and the pad. I like this because it's kind of like tension and release. You know what I mean? Over here's the tension, and then the release, it just kind of gives like a cool transition feeling when you're going from the hook into the verse. Then I slowly start introducing the drums again. Right here I bring in the kick and the 808. And then I do small little things within the verse just to make it like interesting still. Then I introduce all the sounds in again, let it ride out, and then for the very last bar I take out all the drums again, and that's just so when the hook comes in it hits really, really hard. Then I just kind of copied that over and then did like the little piano for the outro, and then that was it. That was the full beat. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy. Just these beats can be real simple when you want them to. You know what I mean? Like this beat hits too, but all you gotta do is really just get one solid melody and then just work from there. So once you got these keys in here, it was basically a rap after the keys. You know what I mean? You put the keys in here, then you just layer it with a pad, put the little vocal run in, and then you just lay down the drums how you normally lay them down, and boom, you got yourself a little emotional Peysoh beat. You know what I mean? That emotional West Coast sound. So with that being said, my name is Devin. I also go by Infinite or Proud by Infinite. Peace out. Pew.